Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. As we continue to practice social distancing, I will be conducting this interview via WebEx, so stay tuned for my interviews coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're hosting City Week via WebEx, and I have a number of great guests that will be joining us here. Let me just start out by introducing who our guests will be, and I hope that you will enjoy the show today. I have, first of all, Miss Christina Moore. I want to welcome you to the show, Christina. I have,
Hi.
have Quay Boddie that will be joining us. And
How y'all doing?
All right, and then I also have Anthony Talley. I just want to welcome each one of you all to City Week this week. And gentlemen, not anything against you all. I've known both of you gentlemen for a very long time. I'm going to start out with Miss Christina Moore, just asking her to give us a little bit of information about herself, if you don't mind. Christina?
Sure. I have been living in LaGrange for about 7 years, and that's actually where my fitness journey started. I was not really a very healthy person before that, and 7 years ago I had my son and I started walking, and people used to see me. I would walk from my house on Jefferson Street to Town Fitness every day, and I started working out here, and then I became a group fitness instructor 6 years ago with a program called Body Flow, which was yoga based.
Okay.
Then Body Pump and RPM, which is a cycling program. But I loved the yoga so much that 4 years ago, I completed a 200-hour yoga program that made me certified with Yoga Alliance. And that allowed me to be independently insured and licensed to practice anywhere, which is why I could then be able to go to yoga in a field with these fine gentlemen. And I love this community, and I wanted to be able to help. I've wanted to be able to do something like this for a long time, and I just know how to make it happen. And because of many things, even COVID made this possible. It made it so I had an online platform that meant that I had an online waiver. So many of the people who came to our event signed a waiver online, so we didn't have a bunch of people showing up that needed to sign something and hold a pen, and we didn't have to worry about that. So it's amazing the way that these things come together, and then I was so touched by these guys' message and their story and what they do, and it kind of came from there. I'm sure we'll talk about that more.
Okay.
Later, but
Okay, well, very good. And I want to come back to ask you a couple of questions about some things that you spoke about there, Christine, but I want to go give the gentleman an opportunity to introduce themselves. So, Quay, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about you.
Gotcha. Quay Boddie, born and raised in LaGrange, Georgia, raised by my grandmother as Alton. You knew her very well.
That's correct.
And just thankful, extremely thankful to God that I grew up in a good household. I grew up with a lot of coaches and mentors and people that poured into my life. And one of the biggest things that they poured into my life was to always treat people the way you want to be treated and to treat people with love. And within my adult years thus far, that's what me and a host of other people, including my brother Anthony, have been trying to do within different neighborhoods, with just different people that we meet from all walks of life. It doesn't matter about a color. And so it's just an amazing thing to be able to not only feed people, but also pray for people, love people right where they are. And I'm just grateful that those things were instilled in me, along with a lot of other lessons. And so we're just going to continue within the mission. Man, when Christina reached out to me, I've been saying it all year long, people don't have to be nice. And so forever grateful for her having the heart to want to help little old GetFed. And it's just been, it was awesome, like still on a high from the event.
Okay. Oh, very good. And we're going to get into talking a little bit more about what GetFed and how this, maturation came to be. But Anthony, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the viewing audience as well.
All right. Well, hello, Anthony Talley, born and raised in LaGrange, Georgia also. I come from what you call it a unique upbringing because I had mom and dad in the house, Christian background, very faith orientated. But you know, I grew up in some areas that kind of get frowned upon because of the troubles and things that they have. But as a kid, that's when I saw that there's a need. You know, there are a lot of poverty-stricken areas. There are a lot of kids that go without. And as I got older, I was put in positions to where I could actually reach out to people that were less fortunate or give people an ear, you know, because sometimes people just want to be heard. And from there, me and my brother, we bumped heads and it just took off. And then when we got the message that we were invited to do yoga, I laughed and smiled at the same time because I'm like, I've done yoga before and it was awesome, but it hurts. So but we were able to do it and we enjoyed it. And it was, I mean, like Quay said, it feels like it's a high right now because someone actually has been paying attention and they see what we do and they wanted to show us that they appreciate us. So we thank you.
Okay, well, very good. Let's get into talking about how did you guys come together. Christina talked about the fact that she was able to provide this, you know, in the wake of the COVID, where a lot of people are sheltering in place, where we have seen it impact our community, and it's still impacting our community. And as a result of this, while we're doing City Week via WebEx, Christina, you went and got certified. When you heard about what these gentlemen are doing, how did you feel, or how did you feel like the connection to what they're doing and to what you're doing could play in together?
Well, yoga is all about unity. It is. It actually translates to unity, coming together and joining as one. Mm-hmm. And their mission to make people feel connected, to not just feed people with food, but to make people feel appreciated and recognized and seen is how I translate my whole yoga journey. I feel that we are on hopefully a path to compassionate self-acceptance. And that through compassionate self-acceptance, which is something we can find through our yoga practice, we can then be able to accept other people compassionately so that, you know, when we make mistakes, we can forgive ourselves. And in that knowing, we can allow other people to make mistakes. And they're modeling that. They're examples of that in what they do in their practice. And I was like, well, how can I bring the yoga that I do to the community who's looking for an outlet, who's looking for a way that they can also give back? And how can we do it safely? How can we be 6-10 feet apart? How can we make that possible? And how can we allow that to then be bigger and give these gentlemen an opportunity to do more of what they're doing and maybe make connections with more people so that more people can go out and do that? And I was like, well, that's a big old field, and we can be real far apart, and we can figure out how to do this right now, even though we're in a place where we need to be a little bit safer, but we can still come together and be community and lift each other up.
Okay, very good. And Quay, and you and Anthony, you all have been involved with the organization GetFed. Talk a little bit about that so that our viewing audience understand what GetFed is and what it's all about, and how did that come to be?
Yeah.
I think you may be on. I think you may be on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh Lord! So back in July of 2016, I was working a summer job with the True County School System, and I remember vividly. I was in the building by myself that day, and God began to speak to me. He said, "Quay, people need to be fed." And so, at first, I was like, "All right, God, what are you saying? Like, do I give them a sandwich? Like, you know, like what do I do?" You know, and he said, well, people need to not only be fed with love, but they need to be fed with food, with fellowship, and just with my love. And so at the time, there were 2 other members that were with us, and we all just came together and we said, all right, we're just going to start going and feeding different people, going to the impoverished neighborhoods, going to the quote unquote low income or the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. Like that's where a lot of us are familiar with, and so we said let's start here. And then eventually it ended up in us just showing love to the whole community, not even looking at a color, not looking at a neighborhood or anything. And it's the mission has just continued from there. So.
Okay. Hey, talk about, I know this is an annual thing that you all have done in the past, and correct me, Anthony, if I'm incorrect, where you all invite and have people come out to a determined location and they're able to pick up a meal, and talk about some of the other things that you all offer during that event.
Typically, we not only offer food, but we have had clothing items set up. My brother and myself, we go through our closets, we take gently used items. And some of the items are brand new. And we will lay those out on the tables. You could come through and get you something to wear, get you something to eat. And then we had people start reaching out saying they were down on their luck, they needed gas, or we had one guy at one point approach us saying he needed car insurance. And now, we're not funded by anybody really but ourselves. But we still make that happen. And utility bills, we have helped out, but we try to shy away from that. But we guarantee you, if you come to us with a legit need as far as food or clothing goes, we're going to definitely look out for you. And if people have been displaced, we put them up in hotel rooms for a couple of days, just trying to do our part to help get them back on track.
Okay, well, very good. Now let's talk about the yoga in the park. When that idea was conceived, and I don't know how it was birthed, but I think Christina said that she saw and heard about what you gentlemen are doing. Let's just talk about that day, that event. I'm just going to throw this out to all three of you all. What was that day like for you all to see the number of people that came out that were participating in the yoga? And I heard Quay said that yoga hurt, so you don't have to worry about me coming out to get involved with it. But I will come out and kind of commentate about what's going on. So you guys talk about that day if you don't mind for me.
Christina?
Go ahead, Kristian.
Yeah.
Yoga's not supposed to hurt.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I've cultivated a reputation of being kind of mean.
Oh, okay.
I teach a little bit more of a physical practice.
Okay.
So pain is not the goal, but it is a little bit maybe more physically challenging, just the way I teach it.
Okay.
There are lots of different instructors. In fact, I can just hear Joanne and Susan at the Center for Mindful Exploration, not here, I can see them be like, oh, Christina. Yoga is more of a mind-body breath connection.
Okay.
I connect better when I
Hurting people,
feel
sounds like.
My muscles challenge.
Okay, all right.
But that day was so beautiful and overwhelming. People just kept showing up. They just kept showing up. I was in my heart, I was like, maybe we'll get like 30 people. Maybe there will be like 30 people. That would be fantastic. That would be huge. And I know we had over 70. Katie Venture for the city, she's like, there were at least 100. I don't know. Maybe it's like a fish. But I mean, it was overwhelming to see the people just continuing to show up.
Okay.
That wanted this. Yeah, that was amazing for me.
Great. Guys, what was it like for you all? And I'm just kidding. I will like to participate in one of the sessions, but I have to be in the intermediate, okay? I'm going to just tell you now. I'll be in the intermediate class, all right? Gentlemen, what was it like for you all to see the community come out and support Christina and her endeavors, you all and your endeavors? And let's talk about where do we go next from here?
Well, Alton, let me tell you, if we had to do the class with Christina, then you have to do the class with Christina.
Don't go there, Quay. Don't go there, Quay.
It's not if my 250-pound behind can do it, then you're gonna do it.
All right. Okay.
But when you're doing an event, and I'm sure Anthony can attest to this. you just never know like how many people are gonna show up, no matter how hard you plan or how hard you try. And so I can really piggyback off of what Christina said. It was just amazing. Like we were passing out stickers or whatever, and it's like I'm trying to make sure I don't miss people because it was so many people walking up. I'm like, hey, did you get a sticker? Hey, did you? And so I mean, it was just amazing. Like even after the session, you had people. I'm talking about Spanish, black, white. We're all in huddles. You had different huddles, you know, on the field, and people just conversating and exchanging contact information. And oh, this was awesome. And oh, you know, when's the next one? I mean, so just the energy. We had a little breeze at some points. We had the soft music playing, and I really think that it showed unity, which is what we need desperately in these times, because it's not about color. And I didn't see any of that. Usually I would get a vibe from some people, just like I'm pretty sure you guys would, you know, somebody may be negative or whatever, but I mean, the positivity and the vibe of the whole event, I mean, I'm still on a high. So it was amazing.
Okay, great.
And, you know, for me, it was like, once we started to really scan the field and see all of the people, it was a reality check for me, because at that moment I realized that all those people were there not because we had something to give them. They were there to show us that they wanted to see us father ourselves in the mission. And to me, it said that they believe in us and they trust us with their hard-earned money, because they donated, and we appreciate that as well. And for Christina to, I guess I could say, take a risk on two guys that she didn't know anything about, that spoke a lot to me. You know, and once we got there, I got to share this. She asked, she said, so are we hugging or are we fist bumping? And, you know, because everybody was there, and I think we just all felt like the right thing to do was fist bump. But later she did get a hug, right?
I did, yeah.
It touched my heart though, because like Quay said, we didn't see color. It was just a bunch of people out there having a great time for a great occasion.
Okay. You know, I'm sitting here and hearing what you all are saying, and definitely if there's ever a time that we needed unity is now. With all the things that we're seeing happening in our world, and thankfully we don't have any of those things happening here in our community. And I just always felt like this is such a great, caring community, one that really have a heart for people. And I think that's what all three of you have, is a heart for people. And when you have a heart for people, it shows, and it showed on that field that day. So my question is, when will the next event be held?
Huh? Well, I keep joking that it'll be in the fall and it'll be cooler, but this is Georgia. It's not going to be cooler in the
That's right.
That's not gonna, that won't make any difference. I don't know. We're going to plan it. We don't have a date set, but we will.
Okay. All right. Well, we definitely will be holding you all to it. And let me ask, because you, Anthony, you alluded to the fact that they trusted you all and trusted you all with funding. And they, I do understand there was a donation that was taken up. How do you all plan on using that to further the mission of what Christina and you gentlemen are doing in the community?
Okay, well, actually, it's funny that you asked that, because this Sunday, my brother and I, we're actually going to be at the amphitheater, and we're going to be giving away serving sides for meals, meaning like corn, green beans, different vegetables, things of that nature that you put together to make a meal. But not only that, the proceeds that were raised, it helps us to plan more events like throughout the week, where, you know, in the past we were out here at least, 4 times a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, and the funds get low, it turns to once a month or twice a month. But now we can actually pick the ball back up and start running a little bit more with it.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. Well, we definitely want to make sure that we be a part, when I say we, LGTV, that we're part of the next planned event. And hopefully, let me ask you, how will you, and I heard, Christina, you mentioned about Katie, and she is phenomenal about getting the word out. I had something that I needed to get out to the public yesterday. I sent it to her, and I think before I hit send, she already had it out. I'm like, my God, she's quick. But How can we help you all with that? And I know, again, Katie will do, but how can we assist you all with getting the word out when that next planned event will be taking place?
The biggest thing would be to just share. I mean, of course, everybody has a Facebook or some type of social media platform.
Okay.
Of course, we have a GetFed Inc. page.
Okay.
You know, we've had a lot of people, especially since this past Saturday, that have messaged us. Also, you know, through email as well. So, I mean, there's different ways that I would say people can do that, but you know, we share everything else. So hey, just share our posts.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it won't be an issue.
And not only do a lot of live videos too, like even at the yoga event, all while I'm trying to catch my brother in white sweat, I was live trying to get people to see what was going on around it. So any type of social media would be great as far as getting more people involved or get their attention.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I do some work with the Center for Mindful Exploration. That's Susan Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually allowed me to use her business page to create the event, which was really, really nice of her, because then the event could be shared from everyone's page. So following her, and she does a lot of community events. So that's a great place to get connected in the community.
Okay.
And to hear about things like this where we can come together and start to build change
Okay.
in the community.
Very
So
good.
that's the Center for Mindful Exploration.
Okay, all right. Before I close out, I do want to just kind of get Christina, from you, just a snippet of what people can expect, like myself. Number one, when they come out to the next one, give me just a little bit, a teaser of what to expect as I prepare my mind to come out for this yoga, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Well, I can already tell you that one is not going to happen. By your head, okay. Right.
Yeah, we do a lot of this. What's important, and I think that this is what you take away the most.
Okay.
You take a break if you need it.
Okay.
If it hurts, like physically causes pain, don't do it.
Okay.
And think about between now and then your breathing.
Okay.
Where are you breathing in your day? When you take a breath, does it end in your shoulders? Or can you feel your breath travel all the way down to the base of your diaphragm? So when you inhale, are you taking the time to fill your lungs all the way to the top and exhale all the way to the bottom?
Okay.
We get so busy that we just breathe in the top third, and then we're only living in the top third of our life. So practice taking slow and complete breaths between now and then. And then whatever we do physically, that's just bonus.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
We'll be fine. All right. Well, all I remember Quay mentioning that it hurt. That's all. I wrote that word down. I'm like, okay. Well,
No, if you're worried about the physical stuff, I teach at Town Fitness Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:15.
Okay.
Those classes are also available on Zoom. You just need to email me. I'll send you the links.
Okay.
So you could do it from home if you're not ready for social stuff quite yet.
All right.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, very good.
I didn't mean to scare you, man.
Well,
I didn't mean to scare you. I'm sorry.
okay, that's all right.
It ain't that serious.
It ain't that serious. Okay, Quay. Hey, too late. The horse is out of the stall now. Hey, let me just close out with you, gentlemen, because we talked about GetFed, and Christina, we just can't say thank you enough for how you are assisting these gentlemen, because I've known, as Quay mentioned, I've known him since knee high to a duck. His grandmother, great woman that poured a lot of positive things into him. Anthony, he and I attended church together. I know his mom and dad very well, so I know that you're working, and I don't want to sound, but you're working with the cream of the crop. And these two gentlemen, whom I've known for a very long time, know their character, and I'm so very, very proud of both of them. And gentlemen, close us out with your organization, GetFed. What do you see it going? What do you want it to do next?
We want it to, well, it's actually been, let me just say, we want it to grow. We want facilities so we can house food, we can house the clothing, and we have a van, but it's really not up to par. And we don't want it just throwing the money into the van when we could be feeding the community. So we just want people to really take us serious and understand that we're going to do what's best for all people. We don't care where you come from. We don't care what you look like. Quay?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, as we've learned to do in our upbringing, we're doing the best with what we have right now. But as God continues to bless us, you best believe you can put your next paycheck on this, is that we're going to do more and we're going to do better. Because me and Ant, I keep saying Ant, everybody doesn't know his name is Ant.
Yeah, that's I'm almost introduced him that way, but I had to correct myself.
Me and Anthony, we talk about it all the time about different initiatives that are going to take place, once we have some stability as far as a facility goes and things of that nature. And so we just going to keep on pushing until our change comes. But it's still going to be the same message, and it's still going to be positive, and it's still going to be love all the time.
Okay. I think that's a great quote to close out. Love all the time. And I do want to thank each one of you. Christina, I want to thank you for joining us today. Quay, Anthony, thank you all very much for joining us. And thank you for what you're doing in our community to continue to bring us together and realize that love is all we really and truly need. And if we can do anything here, you already have our support. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this week for City Week. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
As the nation's doctor, I often get asked, what should I do if I think I might have coronavirus?
People who are sick should stay home. You don't go to an emergency room. You don't go to a clinic. You get on the phone and you ask for advice and instructions from your physician.
We don't want you to go into the ER or the doctor's office without talking to them first, because you might spread coronavirus to someone else. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for City Week this week. As we continue to practice social distancing, I was hosting WebEx as my interview platform today. My guests have been Christina Moore, Quay, Boddie, and Anthony Talley, as they talked about yoga in the field and how you can get involved in this event as well. So stay tuned for information coming up about that next upcoming event. Ladies and gentlemen, hope that you've enjoyed our interviews, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.